I couldn't hear the intro on my end, but what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Those Movie Dudes podcast. I'm your beloved and handsome host, Jonathan. Happy to be here once again to talk about some new release movies, talk about some news, do a little Nate's Choice. Who are we going to throw off the train this week? We'll find out. And we're going to play a little Cine2Nerdle trivia, Clash of the Nate and Ducky. So that should be a good time. If you're into any of that, I highly recommend sticking around on YouTube and just chilling with us. So let's bring in our fellow dudes, Nate and the Duck. Quack, quack, motherfuckers.
Hey, all right. F-bomb right out of the gate. First minute in. Let's go.
Yeah,
Demonetized instantly. All right, we
haven't made money yet.
I didn't hear the intro, so I was just in silence and I was very confused.
I could tell. Did
you not play it?
No, I played it, but I've also had that same thing where, like, if the audio output isn't like with your Yeti or whatever, you won't hear the music. And I've done it a few times on first time watching where I couldn't hear the intro, and that's integral for the intro. But when I cut to you on this one,
I'm just like, I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Do a little gopher dance from Caddyshack. I'm like, all right, he definitely is just not hearing this. So
I just fixed it. I fixed it now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play real quick.
Throw it in the oven.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Perfect.
Anyways, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the show. Glad to be here. Glad to talk about some movies with you fellas. What's everybody doing?
Don't lie to us, John.
I mean, I didn't mean that, but what are you watching back there? Is that the Iron Giant or something? What is that animated?
That is incorrect. That's
definitely like a Studio Ghibli situation. Oh,
it's Attack on Titan.
Oh,
no,
are we talking TV right now? Damn,
nope, John was actually close.
What did I already forgot what I said.
Ghibli.
Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? Boy in the Heron. Got it.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I saw that in IMAX, which seems unnecessary.
No,
anyways,
that probably looked amazing.
I mean, it did, but animated movies in IMAX. Well, unless it's Across the Spider-Verse, those movies are totally unnecessary. Yeah. But yeah, I went to the theater a lot this past week. What about you guys? You make it out to your local theater chain?
I did. One.
Oh yeah, no,
as local as it gets, I suppose.
I did go and see a movie this past week, and we'll talk about it later in the episode. But I need to get to the theater more. I was actually having this conversation with Nate the other day, where I just haven't been as motivated to go to the theaters per se. And I think that, and it's not necessarily because it's like I'm not interested in the movies. I mean, Companion, Hard Eyes, not really Captain America: Brave New World. But there's been some other ones where like I totally would go see it in theaters, but the theatrical window is so short now where like I just know it's gonna pop up VOD. I can watch it on my my couch in 2 weeks, like Companion.
Yeah.
Like I hate that I'm such a hypocrite because like I'm all about the theatrical experience, but I'm also so like I can just wait for a couple weeks and just check it out when it comes out and watch it at home with my dog. But
that's totally fair. That as you guys know, like I go to AMC, and it's the same experience every time where it's 25 minutes of trailers. I get my popcorn, I get my Twizzlers, I sneak in a coffee from Dunkin' if it's like an early Saturday morning showtime. And I just go through the motions of the movie theater. There's always somebody that wants to sit right next to me for some reason. I don't know why. It's assigned seating. You can choose not to sit next to somebody. Like, I want my fucking buffer seat. I'm going to start buying 2 seats, I think, just intentionally.
Do they force you, like, when you're picking your seat, like, oh, you should really pick this one so that you leave 2 seats open? It's like, no, I picked that one so I don't. So I don't sit next to people.
No, I mean, sometimes I will open up the app like before the showtime, because if it's after the actual showtime, it'll gray out and you can't actually click it to see the seating chart. But I'll check and see like what seats are still open, so I know that I have a little wiggle room to move around if I want to.
You know what's funny? I actually use that online seating chart pretty like I check it a lot, especially if I have a movie coming up and I already have my ticket reserved, because I'm always just like, how packed is the theater? Is there anyone next to me? Like, is there anyone around me? I don't know why.
Terrified of other human beings in movie theaters.
Just for some reason, on your phone and just click on the showtime, and then you can see the whole auditorium. I did that a couple of times with a monkey. I'm like, how packed is this movie? Because I bought it like a couple of days before, where like no one had a ticket yet. But it turned out to be a pretty packed showing, so that was kind of cool to see.
I really thought I was going to avoid the children at the earliest showtime on Saturday for Paddington in Peru. Not so
No,
much.
dude.
Not so much. They made it out, but they were very well behaved. I was very impressed with these families this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they were
And
British children. They're like, "Oh, we're going to see Paddington in the morning, Mummy. Did
they
you
were
bring the
eating
tea and the
jars of
crumpets?
margarine, or what is it?
Marmalade."
Marmalade. They had so much. They were covered
I've
in
never even
marmalade by
seen
the
the
end of the
movie.
show.
Yeah, you've never seen Paddington, like the movies at all?
No.
Oh
Mm-mm.
my god, you have no idea how much Paddington 2 would probably change your life. I'm
It'd be weird
just
if they
saying,
were
like,
covered in margarine. Actually, that would be like processed. I can't believe it's
you're
not
still on
butter.
this.
That'd be a little fucked up.
All right, fair
It's
enough.
one of those ones where I'm just gonna wake up some morning and be like, I'm in such a crappy mood. I need to be uplifted, and that's basically every morning. And just throw on a British
Well,
speaking.
and maybe I'll wait until we get into some quickies at the end of the podcast because John and I did see Paddington in Peru. We're not going to do a featured review of the movie, but we might talk about it. So I'll save it for.
He made his way over there. That little dastardly bear.
Yeah. But John and I are so lucky because we are mere minutes away from a theater. But for those of you guys who don't know, Nate lives like an hour away from his nearest theater, and even that theater doesn't
open
play
one.
everything. I know, seriously, just open
Like
one.
at this point.
He's sick. Just play your Blu-ray collection or Criterion collection. Charge like $1 a ticket or something.
That would blow up.
What I would give.
That'd be
Kind of my
cool.
dream, honestly, is to
That'd be
open up
sick.
my own disc golf / theater building.
Given the
business.
fact that like he literally has his own Criterion closet worth of Criterions in his room right there.
I should clear out this closet actually and just put them all in there and just do cramped little videos with my phone,
Yeah.
just like, "Hi, I'm in my
Yeah,
closet. This is where my Criterions are."
Do the
You could go
Criterion
live on-
closet
have you
parody videos. That'd be
Have you
hilarious.
seen those people live on TikTok where they just have all their movies and people in the comments are like, "Do you have this one?" And then he's like, "Yep, right here." You could just do that, but it's all Criterion. Like, yep,
There
right
you
here.
go.
Move. Next comment. Thanks for the bits. Thanks for the bits in the chat.
That's what we
Yeah,
should have
Seven
done when we all
Samurai.
lived
Oh yeah,
together.
right here.
And we had
Right
all
here.
of our
Oh,
Blu-rays.
Thanks for
Like,
the
could you
donuts.
imagine?
That'd be
We
crazy.
literally have everything.
All of our collections combined.
But I was gonna say, Nate, since you do live like an hour away from your local theater, what movie do you think is next for you to make the trek to the theater and sit down and watch a movie? What movie do you think it's gonna be? Wolfman. No, I'm just kidding. The monkey.
Oh,
That's what the
I
slow
was like,
animal sounds are.
That is not even in theaters now. And I went to
Moo,
check
moo.
after
Oink,
last
oink.
time, and it was immediately gone.
Oh, you're seeing Pig with Nicolas Cage? Shit. No.
One of the sheep? What the hell?
Weird. Truffles.
I never had that spinny toy when I was a child, so
truffles.
never learned. Yeah, no.
Monkey.
Okay, so
I
you're gonna see
want
the
to see
monkey.
it.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Fair
I'm
enough.
off Thursday, so that's probably going to be my trip to the big city.
All right.
The big
Big
city.
city, I
Love to
love
see.
it.
Hey, it's not even the capital of the state.
All
It's
right,
not
great.
even close to the biggest town.
No.
All right. First segment here, movie news.
This is movie news.
With a
News.
pond full of lily pads.
Pete, get out of here.
All right. Pete, that
Stop
is
it.
enough
No.
out of you. See you in 2 weeks.
Stay over there.
He's gone. All right.
I didn't hear the fucking intro again. What the hell?
Good.
What the hell?
I love it.
I literally
You don't
have
have
it set
the
up.
audio set correctly, John. Come on. This is why we do prep.
I do have it set up though.
For those listening, we do not do prep.
Can we play it again just for me? I think I fixed it. Play it again just for John, please.
I'll voice it.
Okay, all right. We got-
movie news. News. Okay.
Here we go. Let's see if John can hear it.
Why not?
This is movie news. News.
All right, Pete, we brought you back. Unfortunately, you got to go now. All right, thank you.
God damn it. I don't know what's going on. Whatever. move on.
Pete, get the fuck out of here. Okay.
I can see that you clicked it, but I can't hear it.
All right. All right. Well, let's just get into the first topic here. The 2025 SAG Awards were last night. This is kind of the precursor for the Oscars. I don't want to go over the winners right now. Let me just remove that actually. Okay. And so we had the Indie Spirits this weekend as well. The awards were on Saturday, and then Sunday the Screen Actors Guild Awards happened. And like I said, this is kind of the precursor to the Oscars. This kind of gives you a sense of who is most likely going to win the Oscar, which is this Sunday. So mark your calendars.
Oh,
Load up Hulu or
Man.
ABC, and we can watch the Oscars on Sunday and report back on the next podcast on the winners. But do you guys know who won by any chance? Like Indie Spirits or the SAG or anything like that? You guys, Nate is not in his head. Yes, he knows.
Well, I know Jesse Eisenberg won something.
He won screenplay.
Because he gave Emma Stone a real uplifting and inspirational thank you.
Yeah.
From their days in Zombieland and stuff.
Right, yeah, because Emma Stone is now full blown producer of all these independent movies. That was cool to see. But usually every year you kind of, at this point, right before the Oscars happen, you kind of have a good sense of who is going to win. There really isn't a lot of room for surprises. Then again, every now and then, a big surprise does happen. Jamie Lee Curtis, what the fuck?
Boom.
But I will say, now that most of the award shows have happened, the Oscars, honestly, it's a gamble. I have no fucking clue what's gonna win. It's honestly the most exciting Oscars that I've been a part of for the last I don't know, a couple of years, or that I've followed. I should say, not been a part of, but it's been cool to see all these left curves, and it's cool. So last night, Conclave won Best SAG, which usually goes to Best Picture.
Best SAG. That sounds strange.
Yes,
Is that what they
the
call
outstanding
it?
performance by cast in a motion picture. That's their best picture, but that movie tends to typically go on and is either the 1 or 2 for best picture. Oppenheimer won last year. Conclave came out of nowhere and just dominated, which was kind of cool to see.
It had a good cast. I mean, there was a lot of really good. I mean, in terms of ensemble, it definitely had one of the best of the year. So I could see that.
A lot of people were thinking that Anora could take it, or a Complete Unknown, even thinking Wicked might sneak in, but a lot of people didn't think Conclave was going to take it, and that just snuck out of nowhere. And that is now kind of it's in the top 3 for sure for the best picture. So that's interesting.
Wow,
a great movie.
Great movie for sure.
It was really good. Yeah.
And this is the most interesting. So that outstanding performance by a male actor, it went to Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown.
What?
Most people are thinking Adrian Brody's a lock for the best actor for the Oscar, but this is now
that would be
left turn.
Timothée Chalamet won. That would be crazy. I would actually be blown away. I mean, great for him. I mean, he's been really good in almost everything he does. So,
right.
I mean, it's be deserving.
And Adrian Brody has won most of the awards so far for best actor. So a lot of people did think it was going to go to him, or maybe Ralph Fiennes was going to have a little last minute resurgence. But Timothée Chalamet, it might be neck and neck between Adrian Brody and Timothée Chalamet going to Oscar Sunday. So that's interesting. I didn't really expect that.
Old money versus new money.
And Timothée Chalamet did have a speech that is kind of trending today, where he got up on stage and was essentially just I want to he's I probably shouldn't say this, but I strive to be one of the greats. I look up to all these Leonardo DiCaprio, Viola Davis, all these great actors. I strive to be one of them. This means the world to me. This is just fuel for the fire for me to continue to create a legacy. So he went kind of on a big I'm aspiring to be on the Mount Rushmore. So this is great. And people were whoa.
Hey, good for him.
But yeah, exactly. I think it was great. It was
he
great.
Should feel confident. I mean, damn, he's
what he's accomplished for being 27. It's insane. So good for him.
Yeah, and look what we're doing.
And
I would not be upset if he won.
Just talking about it.
Heard he's amazing.
That'd be insane. So who knows if that will happen come Oscar Sunday. Timothée Chalamet.
I'm okay with that.
And then also, so best actress. Mikey Madsen has kind of just come out of nowhere and won a lot of the awards lately. She won the Indie Spirit the other day. And so people were I think Mikey Madsen is probably going to win this, and it's going to lock her in for the best actress. Demi Moore won for this.
Boo.
Yeah. Great job, Demi Moore. Great performance.
As long as it's not Carla Sofia Gascon.
It's a career Oscar. Don't do those anymore.
No, what she did in The Substance is not a career Oscar. She is unbelievable
yes,
in that movie.
She just
Strongly
acts
disagree.
she just acts upset the whole time. It's not that impressive. She shares the movie with Margaret Qualley, who did a better job.
Margaret Qualley at least deserves a nomination. But yeah, I mean, for me, I think it should be between those two. Granted, I have not seen Wicked, The Last Showgirl, or Amelia Perez, but I still believe Demi Moore and Mikey Madsen deserve. One of them deserves to win the Oscar. So I'm glad that they're both getting recognition. You know.
And it is kind of important to note that a movie called I'm Still Here, which got a Best Picture nomination, international nomination, and actress nomination. That actress, Fernando Torres, not included here, but she won the Golden Globe, and she is like, there's a strong chance that she could pull it off and win. Like, there's a huge fan base behind her and campaigning for her, so it's possible. It's crazy because I haven't seen the movie, so I haven't seen the performance, but that would be interesting if that happened. But it's really Mikey Madsen and for Nora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernando Torres, I'm Still Here. I think that's like the three, but it's really, I think, these two. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Nate, why no Demi Moore? Why are you so against that?
It's just anti-substance. He just does not like the movie.
You love this. I thought you
That
loved
is
Substance.
100%
being
not
dramatic.
true.
I thought it was in your top 5. I think.
I thought The Substance.
No, it was not his top
Substance
15.
I thought The Substance was really good, but like she's been better in other movies, and I think the only reason she's getting it is because she gave such a speech at what award show was it? The Golden Globes?
Golden Globes, she had a big speech, yeah.
Where she just made this grand speech, and it's like, come on, do it based on the performance, not on the build up. Like if you're buying votes,
this is a time where I actually do think like the performance is absolutely worthy. So I do push back on that, but I know what you're saying. I get the argument for sure. It makes sense. I do think the performance is worth it. I've seen the movie like
that
3
stood
times.
out to me was when she smears her makeup. But other than that, the whole movie, she just seems like just not good.
Oh, man.
Not good.
When she's crashing out in her apartment, like freaking out, making all the food, just like talking to herself, fucking great.
Yeah, but that's all special effects and costumes and stuff like that. Like,
well, it's a performance too, delivering it. Anyways, moving on. We'll get into, if she wins, we'll get into the debate once more. But this win does throw it off the whole Mikey Madsen train. But I still would love to see Mikey Madsen pull it off and win. That'd be awesome. And then supporting actor we don't have to get into because it's just a clear front runner of who's going to win. Kieran Culkin, Real Pain, and Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez. So it's going to happen. They've won every award that they've been nominated for, so it's going to happen. So.
Jamie Lee Curtis got nominated again.
Yeah, for something called The Last Showgirl.
What the fuck? She's
not
nominated.
Anderson was also nominated for
Dave Bautista in that, and he looks very weird. Or maybe that's a different
in that movie. Yes. Oh, and John, your girl's in the movie, so you're gonna have to see it. What's her name?
The Last Showgirl.
Kiernan.
Kaylee Spaney's in it.
Kiernan Shipka.
Oh, yeah, she's the other one. Yeah, we'll get around to it.
Your crush.
I think it's available on like Amazon Prime or something. I just checked.
So, I mean, yeah, that goes to question, like, who do you think is going to pull it off? Do you think it's going to be Brody or Chalamet for actor? Or
how happy would you be if Coleman Domingo pulled it out somehow?
That'd be awesome.
God. I would cry.
That'd be cool.
He's so deserving too, man. I don't know. It's the best actor category is loaded this year. I feel like the other ones are not as loaded. Like the fact that Pamela Anderson is squeaking into Best Actress says a lot about the actress performances on the year.
Well, we haven't seen apparently she gives a fantastic performance in that movie. We haven't seen the movie, so can't really say for sure.
I mean, so does Toni Collette in Hereditary, and that didn't even get talked about. So I feel like there's a lot of.
They don't like horror.
It does. It shouldn't.
But the Substance is a horror movie,
and that's why it's so exciting. Because when we saw The Substance, we're like, there's no way Oscars are going to touch this, and then it got like the big five or the big like,
which I don't understand. Yeah, either way, either way.
Yeah, exciting either way. I'm excited for this Sunday. I might actually watch it. Who's hosting again? Isn't it Ryan
Conan
Reynolds
O'Brien? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be good. And also, they're not doing original song performances, so they're not going to drag it out. So cool.
Oh, for real? Thank God.
Yeah, good.
And the other bit of movie news, I sent it in the chat a couple of days ago, but I want to get some more in-depth thoughts on it. John, I don't think you even commented on it, but
probably not. I might have missed it.
They're putting together a a package deal in Hollywood of film with Martin Scorsese, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily Blunt, and it's going to be described as kind of a mix between The Goodfellas and The Departed, set in Hawaii, based on a real figure, and was said to be the last great American mob saga, which unfolded in paradise. It's based on a true story or a real mob boss that The Rock is going to play, and he's going to be like one of the leads in a Martin Scorsese film with Leonardo DiCaprio also starring and Emily Blunt joining the cast. It's like, who the fuck would have thought this would happen literally 1 year ago? I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock is in just about every movie, but that's an interesting one.
It's currently in a bidding war with like Apple, Netflix, Warner Brothers. I think Universal is even involved. So like they're figuring out the deal of like who's going to fund it and put up the financing. And but like that's a huge hot ticket item here. Is like, oh shit, this is a huge cast and Martin Scorsese directing. Like that's interesting. But
I just love the picture. Of course, it's The Rock soaking wet in a child's extra large Under Armour t-shirt. Like, of course. Yeah, I mean, is this his push for an award? That'd be crazy. Imagine that.
That's the smashing machine.
That's his
what
first,
I'm excited for.
That's his first step into changing up his career after some failures of like
Black Adam,
starting with Red Notice, Black Adam, Red One, where he's kind of just been playing himself these last 10 years in his movies, and people have kind of caught on and just got sick of it. And so I think he's realized that, did kind of what McConaughey did in 2010, where he asked his agent to give him every bad review, and he read them all and was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do to change my career. Started working with really good directors, really started picking better projects, better scripts. He won an Oscar like 3 years later. He, I think, has taken a lesson from McConaughey and is doing that. And his first project here is with A24, The Smashing Machine, directed by Benny Safdie, which comes out later this year. And like that's a biopic of like a real life UFC wrestler or something. Nate knows more about the guy.
Mark Kerr.
Yeah,
Mark Kerr. Yeah.
And we'll see what happens with awards. That's definitely gonna be a push to see what happens if he can pull it off. I mean, I think he can do it. It's just if he puts his ego aside and he just stops playing himself and he gets more into doing kind of what he did when he started his career, is kind of doing some more character work. I think that'd be interesting. So I'm glad he's going that direction than just doing more of the same. So I'm intrigued, but let's see what happens.
This is him right here. That's him. Oh my god!
Got a makeup.
That's crazy. He looks like Channing Tatum and Foxcatcher. I mean, he's unrecognizable. Truly, like if you didn't know that was him. I mean, wow.
So we'll see what happens with that movie. Comes out later this year, but
that's crazy.
Scorsese and Dwayne Johnson, the pairing you would never would have believed.
2025 movies, baby. Let's do it. Let's go.
It just makes me laugh.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just because I don't think The Rock cannot be The Rock. That's the thing. It's like every movie I see him in, no matter what makeup you put on him, I just see The Rock.
I mean, I didn't think Zac Efron could be seriously. Not Zac Efron either, but he did a wrestling movie and was kind of unrecognizable. Like, I don't know, right?
No, I get that, but like The Rock is The Rock.
The Rock is The Rock. Yeah, yes.
You can't totally dress him up and make him not look like The Rock unless
Smashing Machine. Like
it looks like they did
prosthetics.
It looks like The Rock still. But...
Looks like they could do it though. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm just saying. I'm glad he's picking those projects rather than just kind of doubling down and doing these insanely silly movies that just are mind-numbing to even watch a trailer for. So
it makes me nervous about this. Could he bring that energy to a Scorsese movie and potentially hurt a Scorsese movie? So it's like,
oh no! If you're with Scorsese, everyone's bringing their A game. So I think they're fine.
Dude, 3 of the next 5 Emily Blunt movies also have The Rock in them. Did she sign some sort of contract where she has to work with him? Like,
no, they have some sort of. They have a good working relationship.
It's interesting.
Okay, we don't have to get into that. All right. But Leonardo DiCaprio just picking up these projects left and right, which is interesting because he doesn't usually work a lot. But he's got a new movie with Paul Thomas Anderson coming out this year. He's got this movie coming out with Scorsese. And did you guys also know that he's set to play Evel Knievel in a movie directed by Damon Chazelle? This is going to be his next project.
That's
it's an Evel
crazy.
Knievel
What the
biopic. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and I guess Terrence Winter's going to write it, who also did Wolf of Wall Street. So another big movie here.
Keep cranking out the biopics.
So-
It'll probably be an Oscar contention. That's how they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. All right.
We'll see.
Evel
He
Knievel
wants
then.
that second Oscar, that's for sure. But have you guys seen anything in the world of movie news that tickles your fancy? Anything exciting? Any new
I've been on a
posters or
huge TV
trailers?
kick, as you know, Spencer. It's been Yellow Jackets, it's been White Lotus, Severance, Survivor starts next week. Like it's that time of year for your boy where it's just TV central. So, long story short, no.
Okay, all right.
I've been in a funk as far as movies lately, and I don't really have an answer for that. Just trying to find stuff that interests me and watch new things, and been trying to watch some 2025 stuff. Hopefully some good ones come out at some point. It's hard not having a theater nearby and being able to get like that opportunity to see new releases. So yeah, I've been in kind of a funk, I'll be honest. It's been hard.
Yeah. Hey man, sometimes that happens. I've gone like a month without going to the theater, and then I'll go 3 times in 1 week. So it kind of just comes in waves for me. But my next movie is on Thursday, and it's Last Breath at the Diamond
Last
Theater. And then
I don't know if I can even handle that movie because it takes place in the deep sea, and it's about a guy that gets like cut from
I
his
would see
cord.
that.
it looks
He gets
crazy,
cut from his
dude.
cord, and he gets like dropped down to the bottom of the ocean, and he has like 30 minutes for him to get rescued. And it's Woody Harrelson being like, "I'm not letting someone die on my watch." He just tries to
Yeah.
fight him.
And then they get crushed by the Titanic or something. We'll see.
Oh,
It's gonna be
spoilers.
interesting.
All right, well, that's all I had for movie news. So let's move on. I'm sure Nate has a little choice for us.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
Black and white, 1 and 2. It's Nate's choice. What you gonna do? Fight or flight, hot or cool. It's Nate's choice. Tell me what you gonna choose.
Boom.
And John still can't hear the drops, but I can see it's playing. Awesome.
That is
Cool.
okay.
Maybe
that is
Funko Pop John
okay.
can hear them. I don't know. Can you? He said no.
Nope, not at all. Okay, well, we're in mid-Oscar season, almost to the end, and so I figured I'm going to put a couple Best Picture winners up to you guys and see which one you would keep and which one will no longer exist in the world of cinema. I'm going with Parasite versus Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Interesting.
Enjoy.
Okay, one move or the other. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple at the surface, but is it? Is it? If there's no Everything Everywhere All at Once, Jamie Lee Curtis never gets her career Oscar. We don't have.
You know how I feel about career Oscars.
And also, Short Round doesn't get his Oscar for some reason. Stephanie Hsu probably doesn't get casted in many movies afterwards. Oh my, Nate, you've left us with quite the
But what has
pickle.
she been in recently?
I couldn't name
That
one
one
thing.
rom-com
A lot of
movie.
TV shows.
Yeah. And yeah. Oh man. Spencer.
Where Bong
thoughts?
Joon-ho, he's coming out with, what is it? Mickey 17 comes out
March
this
6th.
summer.
That
Yeah.
looks so weird.
Ooh, even sooner.
Comes
Next
out very
week, yeah.
soon.
Comes out next week. Next week.
Oh.
Robert Pattinson.
Parasite versus Everything Everywhere All at Once. Both were, I think, my favorite movie of that year.
Wow.
Two kind of take the world by storm movies. Parasite first
both won Best Picture.
international feature that won Best Picture. Everything Everywhere All at Once just kind of swept everything.
And I think I've seen both of them equally 3 times. So I like them both a fucking lot. Jesus, they're both 5 out of 5s for me. Parasite versus Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think Everything Everywhere
Wow.
All at Once is, for me, a movie that I could rewatch more than Parasite. I have more fun with that movie. It's just like a zany, ridiculous ride that just, like the title says, it just throws everything at you at once. Like all types of genres, all types of just different, like comedy, horror, action. It's a ridiculous movie, and I love that the Oscars recognized it and they gave it 7 Oscars. And like it just kind of rewarded like creative filmmaking, which I thought wasn't going to happen because I thought the Oscars were too like obtuse. Like they were just, sticking
Well,
them
now
up.
they're being acute.
Maybe. But Parasite, I fucking love what Parasite did when it won all those Oscars. Like it gave Bong Joon-ho his recognition. I mean, he is such an inventive and creative filmmaker, always has been. Very well deserved. I think he won like 4 Oscars that night. It just swept, and it was the first time I think an international film won Best Picture, and I think that's really fucking badass. And the movie is just incredible as well. So it's a tough pick, and my gut is saying stick with Parasite because it allowed Bong Joon-ho
Wow.
to have a blank check with Warner Brothers, and he is making Mickey 17. I might regret this pick in 2 weeks if I see Mickey 17 and be like, "What the fuck, dude?" But I've heard it's very much as Bong Joon-ho having fun, and I'm actually all for that. So I'm gonna go with Parasite. As much as I loved Everything Everywhere All at Once, and as rewatchable as that movie is, I loved what Parasite did in terms of like the film world. So go with that.
Oh man, that's tough, man. Parasite's a little bit less fresh in my mind. It came out in 2019, and I think I remember watching it and falling asleep because I was very tired that day, and then I never rewatched it. I probably didn't watch it for another year. And at that point, I gave it a 5 out of 5. And I also think we watched it on the podcast at some point.
We do have a full episode of Parasite and Everything
Yeah.
Everywhere All at Once, I believe, on the ThoseMovieDudes archives if you want to go back and listen.
Yes, highly recommend. For me, it is a really tough decision. I gave Parasite a 5 out of 5. I gave Everything Everywhere a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know what that half star is doing there, but I don't know. I think the one that resonated with me more and the one that's just kind of stood the test of time in pop culture and seems more relevant these days is Everything Everywhere. Like that's how you do a multiverse movie. It's just like I need that movie to exist to show people what like what the ceiling should be. Like what do you have to live up to if you're going to make a movie like this? And like I can't do without that scene with the 2 rocks on the cliff. I just love that scene so much. It's so I don't know. It's just an iconic scene that really makes you think. And there's like good like family relationships and stuff. And then like Stephanie Shu isn't terrible. She tries her best, and it makes me want to.
We never said she was.
I know, but for all of you people who think she
nominated.
sucks, she's not that bad. No, I'm keeping Everything Everywhere. Parasite. Sorry, Bong Joon-ho. He'll make another movie. He'll get a budget somewhere.
Well, hopefully the Daniels will get a budget as well and make more movies.
Oh, they
Haven't
have a
heard
horse in
much
our
on their
Minecraft
end
world.
though. Ooh.
They used to.
Yeah. No, I was trying to get something that would be similar. Like the movies themselves aren't that similar, but just the way they've kind of, in their respective years, they took the world by storm. And yeah, just went through and ran the Oscars rampant. But I am on the side of Spencer with this one. Maybe for different reasons. I love Parasite. I've watched it a couple of times since, and it's just such a well-told story with amazing performances. I've only seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, and to me, that's all I needed. Like, I don't need to watch it again. I think I gave it like a 4.5, but to me, there was some moments in it. It felt a little convoluted. But I respect everything it did, all the awards it won, but I think Parasite's gonna stick around a little longer. I think it's gonna be who knows the next time an international picture will win Best Picture. Who knows if it'll ever happen again. It took 80-something years to do it once.
Everything
And now
knows
more
if it'll ever
nominated
happen
in Best
again.
Picture. Like last year we had Anatomy of a Fall, and this year we have 2. I'm Still Here and Amelia Perez. So it's
Yeah.
happening more and more, which is cool.
Thankfully, which it should. Like movies from all around the world, there are some great ones that completely beat the red notices and the red ones and stuff like
Luckily
that.
those aren't up for Oscars, thank God.
Thankfully,
Oh
but they're
my
taking up screens,
Yeah.
and it's like
They
come
are
on,
in
we
movie
should be-
theaters, and people are
Ugh.
spending money on them. So that's a
Well,
fucking problem.
yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, Parasite, it stays. Bye bye
Parasite
everything
stays.
everywhere.
sorry,
Goodbye.
sorry, Stephanie Shu, your career's over. Sorry.
Sorry,
Have fun in
Jamie Lee
TV,
Curtis.
probably
Got it.
on
No worries. It's safe, it's
Abbott
safe. I got it.
Elementary or something.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah, just
No,
keep it.
Spencer, you have
Yeah.
to throw it away. Put it in the meat grinder.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
But you picked Parasite, so you're being a hypocrite.
It's not real. This is made up.
Listen, in
Okay.
another universe,
No,
we all
no,
make
it's not
Everyone
a
puts
safe
me in
choice.
position after the podcast again. All right, we're gonna move on here to some new releases.
Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases.
Yeah, new releases. Yeah. The segment where we
Marcel.
talk about the movies that we saw recently in the theaters and or at home and then give our thoughts on said movies.
Yeah, welcome
Yeah.
back to On Cinema at the Cinema. That's literally what we're doing.
So there's some movies that came out in theaters and maybe we bought snacks or popcorn or drinks and watched them sitting in those seats. And then we came home, wrote a little review on Letterboxd, and now we're here on the podcast and we're going to talk about our thoughts on those movies.
I will say
You
the
lost me.
theater that I normally go to got new seats, and they have this
Oh.
like raised little like plastic piece on the armchair. I think it's meant so like you could put like a bag of popcorn on it and like not worry about it like spilling over. But
Oh,
my
okay.
elbow was digging into the corner of it the entire movie. I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. I fucking hate this new chair. And that's my rant. And that's it. We can get
Did you
to
cut it
That
off?
seems unnecessary.
Peel
Just
it
hold
off.
the popcorn. If you're gonna get popcorn, you need to be, go in.
I don't
with
know
the
if that's what it's
obligation
for.
you
I
have
was trying
hold
to
it.
justify why that raised plastic piece was there, digging into my elbow the entire movie. But regardless, we can talk about a movie that I watched on my couch with in full comfort, The Gorge.
The Gorge. The
only
Gorge.
movie
Scott
that
Derrickson
all of
making
us
a
have seen.
comeback.
Eat food.
Introduction to Scott Derrickson was Sinister. And then he came out with the Eric Bana film. Where is it? Didn't he come out with that Eric Bana? Yes. Deliver Us from Evil. Anything's better than Eric Bana's ass. That's what I always say. And he did the Black Phone 2 years ago, which was quite good. Doctor Strange, but here we are with The Gorge. He looks like any director ever. Like, quite literally, if you have dark black rim glasses, you're a fucking director. But anyway, here we get jet black hair, Anya Taylor-Joy across a canyon or a gorge, sorry, from handsome, sad Miles Teller.
Sad. Miles, yeah, he was very sad throughout most of this movie. Very
He's-
brooding.
He's a sharpshooter.
Very one
is
note.
a woman with a Russian accent that comes in and out, depending on the tension of the scene. I found it to be less Russian when things were crazy, and when it was a calm scene, she was very Russian.
That's
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
so very accurate.
Ukrainian.
But I mean, long story short, I had a lot of fun with this. I had no idea what I was getting into, but once I realized, like, oh shit, so this is the situation at hand. There's some stuff down there, and they don't want you to know what it is, and they're gonna, fall in love along the way. You got me hooked.
Yeah, you definitely got John. Yeah, throw in like a nice little romance
Scary
storyline.
stuff and kissing. Yum.
God damn.
Yum.
Yum. I was eating dinner at the
Communicating
time.
through
yeah.
messages on boards. Wow.
Huh?
This movie was
Dude, the
made
Reddit
for
threads are
you to watch
crazy
on
for
your
this movie.
iPhone while you take a
Homemade
2-hour
zip
poop.
lines. Wow.
Seemed like a pretty solid zip line at the time until it wasn't.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
since when does this? Go ahead.
Since when does this movie what?
Oh, I was gonna get more into the zip line, but it's not important.
Okay, I'd like to hear about that later.
I was gonna say, I remember when this movie was announced. Yeah, it was Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy join Scott Derrickson for some like Apple TV movie. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's like $200 million movie.
Jesus Christ.
And then it just was like, oh, it's coming out in like 2 weeks. I was like, oh, I forgot this movie even existed. I didn't see a trailer. All I knew was the plot line, like two snipers across from each other in a gorge trying to protect something that they don't know like what they're trying to protect. Or they don't know what's inside the gorge. And I knew it was like a romance horror action. So I'm like, they're blending some genres, interesting cast, interesting director. It's on Apple TV. Why not watch it? And it became Apple TV's biggest original movie of all time already. Like it's already like the number one movie for them. So it's successful. Might be a Gorge 2, who knows? But like John said, I also had a fun time with the movie. But that's all I really had with it. That's all I really got out of it. It's very predictable. Like you could predict the next scene, like as it's coming up. You're like, okay, this is where it's gonna go. Boom, that's exactly where it went. The performances are fine though; they're good. The chemistry is kind of there. Miles Teller I thought was miscast in a way, or like I think if a different lead in that role, they could have been a little stronger chemistry, would have bought the level but more, only because like you have to buy their love fast because they don't speak. They just like they have like cue cards, and then next thing you know,
like that. It's like the "You Belong with Me" Taylor Swift music video where like she's in her room with a notepad and she's like, "Hey, whatever, what are you doing?" And then he does the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought Miles Teller was a little like kind of one note, a little too mopey for my liking. But I had a fun time with the movie. It was ridiculous. But Nate, what do you think of this? I'm a loser. Okay.
That was good. I wish I'd expected that.
No, I'd seen the little like 30-second trailers on YouTube that pop up, and I'm always down for anything Anya Taylor-Joy. I don't think she can do wrong in my book. I do agree. I think Miles Teller was a little too...
me.
Bingo.
I can't hear it, but I know what it says.
A little too brooding. Doesn't have that great of an emotional... It didn't feel fluid. It just felt like, oh, there's a girl. All right, let's start talking to her. And it felt a little too quick. And that was the thing that kind of bothered me while I was watching it, was I thought it was going to be a bit more serious. But then there's scenes where she's like, oh, it's my birthday. And they start playing music and dancing around and stuff like that. I was like, no, you pulled me out of it. I can't take you guys seriously now. But when they eventually have to go into the gorge, I had fun, because then the sci-fi aspect came out of it, and you kind of learn about the past of the jobs that they're doing, because they're two sides, almost like warring sides, but they come together to not stop people from going in, but keeping what's in there out. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie like this has that epic line from the person previous. But
the one
I did have fun with it.
The one thing that I just couldn't really wrap my brain around was like, obviously they fall in love with each other from across the gorge, and they have these binoculars where they could literally zoom in like so closely to like each other's apartments, and they could see each other sleep in like full detail. I'm just like, there's no way they're the first ones to make contact. Like there's been previous people beforehand from across the gorge. Like they've all try to make contact. Like I just didn't believe that they were the first ones to break the rules. And
I don't think they were trying to say they were the first ones. Like they're
No,
not supposed to do that, but like it's not
the
like
fact
no
that
one's
it waited this
They
long in the
acknowledge it.
cycle for like anything to happen, or for them to like make contact, or like or anything like that. It's just like I don't know. I don't think they could keep this contained for as long as they did with them having binoculars where they could literally just see into each other's like rooms and watch each other shower and bathe. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that aspect of it. But when they do go into the
And
gorge,
who knows how often like it was a man and a woman? Who knows how many years went by where it was two men? Not saying they couldn't make a movie
Whoa.
about that, which they'll
Brokeback Mountain
probably go
situation.
for. They'll probably go for, but I do like that they talked about like, oh, it started around World War II and how they find all the writing, the poetry on the wall behind the bookshelf, and figuring out, oh, this person did this, they were here, and kind of seeing all the remnants of the past. But I do appreciate that even though it was a little more fun, that when it came to crunch time, like you would see these things coming, they went to serious like military mode and like went to the guns, went to the machine guns, and just laid waste to these things. And I'm like, why isn't this technology and weaponry everywhere? You know how much stuff could be prevented if we had these? Like they have stuff like that, I'm pretty sure, on top of the White House, just these machine guns that are there to protect. Like, how secret is this? Like, they talk about it being cloaked. How do you? I don't understand how you can protect something like this. Like, but I do, because you find out what happens to the people who did it previously, which I thought was kind of a cool concept. But I could kind of see it coming. I'm like, why are they showing this evacuation? Like, we don't need to see this anymore. And then
Yeah, for
boom.
me,
But
I just think the movie, like, it treated the audience kind of dumb. Like, it just tells you everything. Like, there's not one thing, like Spencer said, it's very predictable. In addition to that, like, they tell you every little detail about what's really going on here. And like, if they had left a little bit to, I don't know, to disbelief, like that would have been interesting. Like I would have actually like had some thoughts after the movie other than like, okay, that was really cool, but now I'm never gonna watch it again. I mean, so that was like my main complaint with it, is like I like the little love story, whether it's, you know, whether they have chemistry or not. I just like Anya Taylor-Joy. So you know, I thought it was fun, but I wasn't upset when it was over.
I think it could have been more suspenseful if you didn't see what was in the gorge before they went into it.
They
Like,
showed
once
it
you
right
see it,
away. Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's what's in there. And then they end up in it. I could have been like, what if they were crossing this thing or attempting to, and then that happens, and then you find out what's going on? I thought they just kind of gave it to you like 25, 30 minutes in, and then from the rest, there was no real suspense.
I wish it was something way more mysterious and it wasn't so blatantly obvious. Like, this is what happened. This is what operation is going on. This is what caused it. This is what happens if they get out. This is why we're going to kill them. I wish it was just like they really didn't know what was down there. I don't know. I don't know what that solution would be in terms of script writing, but I wish I had no idea what the fuck it was. And Willem Dafoe looks really creepy behind you right now.
I mean, yeah, I will say, like, I definitely liked the mysteriousness of not knowing what was in the gorge. Like, because I had no idea what it was going to be. I didn't know if it was going to be aliens or like zombies, ghosts. Like, I had no idea what it was going to be. And that first instance, like when they shine the light down on the cliff and you see some movement in like shadows, and the next thing you see in full detail is like their face, and you're just like, I'm like, is this out of Pirates of the Caribbean 3? Like, with these particle men just coming out of the ocean, climbing on the ships. I'm like, this literally looks like Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, what? Oh wait, no, they're Groot men. Like, wait, what? Like, I was so like caught off guard.
Centipede man.
Look. Yeah, I was so confused. But I will say that there are, when they go into the gorge, there are some other creature designs and some cool stuff that they are doing, because essentially slight spoilers, but not really.
already
I mean,
spoiled it.
what the Gorge is essentially is like it combines a bunch of DNA from like non-living things, living things, humans, and all that stuff, and creates these like hybrid creatures in a way, where like people could become like trees and stuff. It's fucking weird, but
Yeah.
there was one creature design that I loved, and it was when they go into like the church that's down in the Gorge, and there's like spiders with like skulls on them, and they're just crawling around everywhere and they're trying to attack them. I thought that design and that sequence alone, I thought was a lot of fun. Like I'm like, they're going full Resident Evil here, and this is cool. Like I like this a lot, but
Which I was down with, like
yeah.
for sure. I was like, now that it's getting into the action sci-fi bit, I was like, the pace is picking up. The
And,
music's good, and
when Miles Teller is like upside down in the tree after crash landed in the parachute, and like that big centipede is crawling the tree, like right out of King Kong,
That
and
was
then
unsettling.
he falls into that like that red goo that like is like an adhesive and it sticks
it's
to
like
it.
an
And
adhesive, yeah.
these like claws are coming out like and like slowly
Yeah.
like closing on them, and it was all practical work too. It was very, very cool. Like that stuff. I'm like, once they went to the Gorge, I was having so much fun, and I was like, I wish there was more of this. Like I think Nate said that. I agree there too. But
I was
the
the
romance,
opposite, dude.
yeah,
I didn't want him to go in the Gorge.
I didn't love the romance. I wasn't on board as much with the romance. If they had established a better romance there, like if it was like a Ryan Gosling Emma Stone type of thing, I would have been like right there. But like the second when Miles Teller went to the Gorge and like Anya Taylor-Joy like immediately runs to the shed, grabs a parachute, and just jumps down, I literally said, I'm like, oh wow, she really loves this guy. Like I did not expect that. But shit, like all
They've
right.
known each other for what?
I mean,
a month?
we don't have a movie if she doesn't do that. What if she's
Well,
just like,
obviously,
ah, shit. All right.
Still, yeah.
See
We'll
ya.
get
Yeah,
a
I mean,
new
they have
one.
to establish. I get like they had some work to do. It was to figure it out, but and they did the best they could. But yeah, the movie was fun. It was a totally watchable streaming movie, and I guess it sounds like a critique, but it really isn't, because it's like if you don't want to go to the theaters, don't want to go see it. I don't think this movie would have played that well in theaters. Like I just think it kind of would have bombed, and audiences would have been like, yeah, it was all right, but.
Yeah.
That's how people are feeling right now.
Would've been like-
They're watching it at home and they're having the same reaction. Like, yeah, it was all right. It's like a 65% Rotten Tomatoes, 77% audience, 6.9 IMDb. So people
There's
are enjoying
definitely
it. They're having a good
something-
time.
There's definitely something to be said for not having to leave your house. I think that goes a long way to not have to make the trip to the theater, spend $20 on popcorn and a drink and whatever, sit down, watch the movie, go home. That might be worth a star or a full grade in some people's eyes.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, for me, I give it a 3.5. 3.5.
Oh,
Very solid
I was
movie.
gonna
I had a lot of fun with it. A few little nitpicks, but I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I think Scott Derrickson has an eye. Like I was one of the few people that didn't hate Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of
well,
Madness.
he didn't
Like,
direct that movie. But
I thought oh no, that was Sam Raimi. Well,
Yeah.
but it said it. It was weird. It came up in that.
the first
Anyway.
one. directed
Oh, he did the first Doctor Strange was great. But yeah, not bad.
Okay, 3.5 for John. Nate, what do you got? Where are you going?
Well, before I give a grade, I don't say this often. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not usually a fan of movies having sequels, prequels, like the opportunity for that. I think this is actually a decent one where they could go into different points in time and see like the beginning of the Gorge, like back in the 40s with that general that they saw, and be like everyone learning about what is actually going to be happening, and then the establishment of these towers, and how they select the people to do it. Because like with Miles Teller, they find out he's just almost like a rogue sniper who doesn't have any connections, so no one will miss him when he's gone. Seeing the selection process would be kind of cool. Also giving Anya Taylor-Joy that little bit of human connection with the man at the beginning. That was kind of cool to see. I would be down to see a sequel of this or a prequel or something to kind of establish a universe for this. But I'm on the same page as John. I gave it a 3.5. Very competent, a lot of fun, predictable, unnecessary Sigourney Weaver cameos.
Yeah, why was she in this movie? Why?
People will watch it and find out for themselves. But yeah, The Gorge, a very decent movie. Thank you, Spencer, for letting me use your Apple TV because I was
Aw.
able to watch it in nice high quality. I didn't have to rent it on Amazon because it wasn't available on Amazon.
It was more of a bonus for you because you had just watched Cha Cha Real Smooth, and it was a nice little cherry on top.
My favorite movie.
I did watch that. I did. I did.
I'm just a half star below you guys. I'm at a 3 out of 5. It got to fresh. I had a fun time with it. I liked it. I just I don't know. I just didn't love it, and I kind of wished it didn't go like the kind of more generic, predictable route, and maybe took a little bit more risks. Maybe spent a little more time in the Gorge, honestly, or maybe established the relationship a little bit stronger. So, little nitpicks here and there, but it's just totally serviceable, totally watchable streaming movie. That sounds like a nitpick or a critique. It's really not. So it's
imagine if the movie started with Miles Teller hanging upside down and it just zooms in slowly going, "Hey, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Well, let's start at the beginning." And then it's him in the military room just like
I love that.
Yeah.
And then it does like a VHS fast forward, like he's hanging upside down, then Anya Taylor-Joy, like a superhero, just comes gliding down. I think we could make a movie, guys.
Cut to the previous guy getting shot in the head. Anyway,
wow.
Anyway, I think we have another movie to talk about.
The Monkey. Oh yeah.
So Nate hasn't seen this movie.
Nate has not seen the movie yet. Like you said at the beginning of the podcast, it's going to be the next movie he goes and sees in theaters. Nate, John, and I will do our best to be non-spoilerish with this movie.
If you get into spoilers, just go like this, and I'll pop it out.
You want us to?
I don't
flip
think
you
we
off?
need to. The only thing we'll cover is like what Neon the marketing has fully released. Like if that's out there. But if you don't know that, then you might get some stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I've just seen like the 30-second trailer. Like I know the person on fire running and the monkey going like this. That's about it.
The drum. Because
initially,
it's
not one of these ones.
It's not the symbol. No, because it was the symbol. That's in the original Stephen King short story. But Disney owns the rights to a monkey with symbols because of Toy Story 3.
Toy Story.
They bought the rights for that. So no production can use monkeys with symbols because Disney owns the rights for that toy. Don't ask me questions, but they had to change it to a drum because of this. So that is why he has the drum in the movie, is because of Disney having the rights to the symbols.
Wow.
Okay.
That'd be funny
because that monkey was like he watched the security cameras.
I honestly haven't seen the movie. I like the drum a lot. I think it was a great choice to go that direction. So the monkey, directed by Osgood Perkins. He has kind of been a filmmaker, writer-director that has blown up in the last year because of Long Legs, a movie that all three of us really enjoyed last year. I think it was in Nate and John's like top 10. Go and listen to that episode to see where it ranked. But he just kind of put himself on the map as a filmmaker to watch, just because Long Legs was just such a dark and depressing, sadistic movie, and it had a lot of style. It was shot really well. It was just very well made. And then this movie, The Monkey, is coming out, and has James Wan producing. It's from a short story from Stephen King. I didn't really see any of the trailers for this movie. I just saw the cast: Theo James, Tatiana Maslany, Elijah Wood. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then I saw the reactions that people had saw it, and they're like, this movie is funny. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I thought this was going to be scary, but cool. All right. But then again, it's like, think about it. It's called The Monkey. Like, it's called The Monkey. If it's not funny, then like it did something wrong. So I went and saw it last weekend, and I didn't really have much expectations. I just like wanted to be entertained, and entertained I was. This was one of the most fun times I've had at the theaters in quite a long time. John, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea what I was getting into. I only know about this movie because we all starred in a short film that Spencer made in college called The Monkey.
8 years ago.
8 years ago, and there was a sequel called, I don't know, The Monkey 2, probably.
The Monkey Part
And
2, yeah.
The Monkey, of course, yeah.
I'm
And
a banana smuggler.
Yes, you were.
Spoiler.
Like, I could literally visualize the scene. Anyway, off topic, but well, not really. But yeah, just knowing that there was a movie called The Monkey. I see the poster every single time I go to a theater right in front of the IMAX screen. It's The Monkey. I'm like, oh my god. But I really didn't have any expectations because typically a movie called The Monkey is going to be terrible. But knowing that the guy behind Longlegs made this movie gave me a lot of hope. And it was so fun. Like, this was the most fun I've had in the theater in an incredibly long time. Way more fun than Captain America: Brave New World by a long shot. Like, it wasn't even
No
fucking
way.
close.
No way.
This movie, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I'm just gonna tell you how I felt and what it reminded me of. I had
Thank you.
Stand By Me vibes mixed with like insert any slasher movie, like
Final Destination.
sure, like yeah, like yes, that's a really good example. But like, it was just absolutely bad shit crazy in every way. Bad monkey crazy, monkey shit crazy.
I see
Theo
what you're trying to
James-
go for.
Theo, yeah, like what words in what order? Theo James is pretty fucking hilarious in this movie. Like, there's so many moments that are like 1000% for shock value, but they pick the craziest scenarios possible, and like you can see them coming at times. And then like the character's reaction to like somebody getting fucking blown up is just hysterical. Like, you just sit there and you laugh. And like, I don't think my theater got that side of the joke, but I certainly did. I was like the only one laughing
Okay.
in the theater.
I was gonna ask. That was one of my
but-
follow-up questions. Yeah.
It was pretty much just me, and then like I would laugh and then other people would laugh. So I don't know, maybe it was just, hopefully I was, adding to the fun. But
They were laughing at you.
they were like, this guy's
Yeah.
fucking sadistic, crazy.
What's he laughing at?
This guy's fucked
The
up.
people I saw the movie with, we were laughing a lot. And like, there was a couple people chuckling, but I could tell that people were hesitant to like, am I okay to laugh here? Like, am I supposed to be laughing? Like, I could
Yeah.
tell people were
Yeah.
unsure of like the tone, but I was fully like, oh, this is a full on like satire. This is meant to be self-aware, just having fun. But then again, it's having fun and it's self-aware, but it still has like Osgood Perkins brought a lot of craft and style to the movie. It gets
It's
shot
a horrifying
incredibly
movie.
well. There are scenes like that he does with the cinematography that are creepy. But like, I don't think it really goes to any places that are like where it's scary or anything. It is more for like shock value, comedy, and yeah, some maybe a couple of moments that are unsettling for sure. But for the most part, like, it does balance the tones, I think, for the most part very well. But I was laughing so much in this movie. Just mainly reaction shots. But Theo James, like, I've never been a big fan of him. Like, I've really only seen him from the Divergent films. But he was good in The White Lotus, I should say. But he had some moments in this movie that almost had me like out of the chair laughing. He has one line delivery where like he kind of just like he hits his snapping point and he just has a line that I don't want to spoil it, but it's so fucking funny. He just crashes out so hard. And he gets to also play a dual role because he's twins. And he gets to do something a little different with that dual role that is a lot of fun. And I was just really surprised by how entertained I was throughout this whole movie. Like, I could have easily kept watching this for another hour. I want them to make like 100 more of these movies. I love that they set
man.
this in a fictional town called Casco, Maine. Like, that was such a fun little element that, like, yeah, it's a Stephen King movie, so of course it takes place in Maine. But
Based on a Stephen King
yeah.
short story, which I didn't realize. I mean, watching the movie, I'm like, this is full Stephen King vibes. And then once we're in Maine, I'm like, 100,000, like, of course. But like, it really does have that feeling. And like, to me, that's like a instant feeling of nostalgia. And like, that's why I felt so connected to this movie amongst the chaos. Like, it was just so fun. So yeah.
That little monkey's the little piece of shit.
Yeah,
Like, you want to
motherfucker.
beat the shit out of this guy. And once you see it, you'll know. Like, the second he does that smile, it's like, oh. Shit, it's going down. But
Yeah, you do not want him to smile at you.
But it's interesting to see like the reaction to this movie, because the early reactions were very fresh, very positive. It was like 93% Rotten Tomatoes. People were saying like, "Oh, it's a lot of fun, very silly and entertaining." And then as it came out the weekend after, like it's down to a 79% Rotten Tomatoes, 62% audience. So the audience is kind of similar to how like our audiences were. They were just unsure of like, am I supposed to be
They're hating
scared
on
or
it.
am I allowed to laugh? I think you're fully allowed to laugh if you have that dark, fucked up sense of humor, and John and I definitely have that. Nate, I think you do too.
We all do. We all have that.
And
Yeah.
fully
I might just turn
leans.
around and watch it twice.
It fully leans. Oh, I would totally do that. It fully leans into that, and I mean, the first scene alone, like if it sets the bar, and it's like, okay, you're either on board or you're not, and so it's like, okay, this is the movie I'm getting. All right, great. And
Really, yeah, crazy cameo. I totally forgot about that, but I thought that
very
that was going to
relevant
be like
cameo.
the movie. Yeah, very super relevant. But yeah, the
But-
opening scene is balls to the wall. Yeah, it gets
and
right into
okay, I won't even get into that, but yeah, just a totally unserious, silly, fun time at the theaters. I honestly would go and see this movie again. I've been thinking about my grade since I've seen it. I went 4 out of 5, but I could even maybe bump it up to a 4.5. I mean, just the amount of fun I had with this movie, I just did not expect, and I just want to embrace and celebrate that. So I just really, really honestly love this movie. It was just a ton of fun. It was exactly what I wanted my monkey
4.25?
movie to be.
So
I'll
you're
go
going
4.25 right now. I'll go 4.25.
I'm confident to give it that 4.5. I thought it
Okay.
was so much fun. I think it's gonna be a little while before something can beat this movie, just because I do like to make my list somewhat based on entertainment value. And this one was like top tier entertainment value for me. So 4.5. Got to go see this movie. If somebody asked me like, "Oh, what should I go see?" It's The Monkey. Go see The
Yeah.
Monkey. Just do
I
it.
think my only like hesitation or nitpick to go 4.5, and it could change on the rewatch. I thought the third act went to a point where it's like, oh, we're going this silly with it, but like it could have changed on the rewatch. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. But yeah, just really enjoyed seeing this movie, and if you have the opportunity to go and see it in theaters, I would recommend to do that. So Nate, definitely curious to see what you think of this movie once you get to it.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty late to the party when it comes to new releases. Like I just saw Hard Eyes a couple weeks ago.
Ooh, let's get into that. We got some quickies and catch up that we could do. The new releases are over. Nate, you went and saw Hard Eyes. What do you think?
Loved it.
Really?
I'm normally skeptical when it comes to like rom-com horror type of stuff, but I thought this one was actually kind of smart. I thought their chemistry was really good, and
Mhm.
I love the character of Hard Eyes as just this almost like a Scream type villain where you're not sure who's playing it, if there's multiple people, if there's one person, and I just think the getup looks awesome with just the eyes, and he has night vision, and I don't know, it was just stupid fun. And I could, like you said, for the monkey, I could have sat through this for another hour and seen like the twists and turns. One of my favorite, it's my number one movie of the year so far, out of 4. So that's not a whole lot right now, but it has one of my favorite scenes at the drive-in that I thought was a really cool scene. Just they hop in somebody's car hiding, and they somehow make that funny, and it just worked for me. But yeah. Hard Eyes.
All
I
right.
think I gave it a 4.5.
Wow.
Shit. 4.5. Damn. All right.
Yep.
I
That's high.
definitely am excited to check this one out. It's just one of those movies where it's like, do I go and see it in theaters or do I wait a week? Still unknown. Maybe I'll go and see it after that glowing review. I definitely want to see this movie, and everyone seems to be loving it, so that's awesome. John, you went and saw Captain America: Brave New World, and technically that probably should have been a featured review because it's
Yeah,
the
I
number one
mean,
movie
in the world. Yeah.
It's the one that most people have seen. I just don't give a flying fuck about the MCU right now, and I don't think Nate does
Yeah.
either. I don't think he's watched anything past Endgame. So John, you've caught up with like everything, including the TV shows. So
No,
you went
well,
and saw
not.
Captain America: Brave New World.
I've seen a lot of the TV shows, but I have fallen off. Like I didn't finish. I don't know, whatever the last like 2 or 3 were. I never really got into Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I didn't really watch that show. I think I watched the first 2 episodes and realized this is really boring. I hate this. So I spent $25 a piece on tickets and popcorn buckets and went and saw the movie. But anyways, I really fucking hated this movie. All of the marketing material was Red Hulk, and that's 10 minutes of the movie at the very end. Anthony Mackie, as much as they want to make Anthony Mackie happen, it's not going to happen. He cannot helm a movie. He is not Captain America, and
But
I'm
he is,
sorry,
though.
if you shoehorn Harrison Ford in there as the president, that's not going to make it any better. This movie felt like 3 bad episodes of Captain America or of Falcon Winter Soldier thrown into a movie theater. That's what it was. It was incredibly boring. I mean, it was mostly just like politics the whole movie, and then like one okay fight. I mean, there were some references to like the Celestials, which I guess was in Eternals, which I saw, but it's so forgettable that I forgot. And that was like a big storyline that doesn't go anywhere.
I never saw Eternals.
You don't need to. Highly don't recommend that one.
Odd, because I actually do kind of want to see it.
Check it out. Maybe you
Selma
can tell me what
Hayek,
Celestial
Angelina
is.
Jolie.
Yeah, well, it's directed by Chloe Zhao, who did Nomadland. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
What? That is
Yeah.
so
Yep.
crazy.
And they've used like real locations too on the movie. I just like the runtime has scared me off every time. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's got like a 40-something% around tomatoes. So I've never done it.
So
but
if I make a
would see it.
movie of Frances McDormand pooping in a bucket, then I'll get $300 million to make a Marvel movie.
And an Oscar. So yeah.
Mhm.
Oh well, yeah. Anyways, yeah, this movie sucked. I don't recommend it. It shouldn't exist. I don't think that Captain America should have handed his shield to anybody, regardless of how much money Marvel is making and or losing. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Damn. Probably one of the lowest.
Sorry, it was more of a
MCU
full
movies
review. I
for
should have been a
you
quickie.
then.
My bad. When I
No,
got a
that's
rant.
fine. So do you think it's the lowest MCU movie that you've seen?
I mean, I can hardly even count it as a movie. Like, it doesn't even feel like a
No,
movie.
it was a theatrically released movie, the #1 movie in the world. It made $85 million in the box office. So
That's pretty bad for that movie.
for opening weekend, I mean, did okay.
Worldwide, is that domestic?
I think it beat out Winter Soldier or the first Captain America.
That's frustrating.
Probably the first one.
No. I think it's definitely probably bottom 5 of Marvel movies, and there's a lot of them. So
Interesting.
I
Okay.
probably would rather watch Thor: The Dark World. Actually, I definitely would.
See,
Definitely
I
would.
actually would say Thor: Love and Thunder is worse than The Dark World.
I agree. I think
Okay.
Dark World's better than that movie. Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, I probably will watch it in the background on Disney Plus in 7 months. So we'll see what happens. Or I'll just watch a heavy spoilers 10-minute YouTube recap of this movie. But
The whole
yeah,
scene
I
is cool.
I don't care anymore. And the fact
The
that I
whole
have to
scene's
watch
cool.
7 TV shows to even follow the current MCU storyline just turns me off. Sorry.
Just kill me. Just watch Loki. That's the only cool show. And
But
I
what
kind of fell off
I
Loki.
will watch is whatever the fuck Paddington wants to do, because he went to Peru.
He did.
And
He went there.
and they made the 3rd movie out of it. Paddington in Peru is the movie that John and I saw.
Yeah, I did.
3rd in the Paddington franchise. Then we have just learned that Nate has not seen a single Paddington movie. So that
That's
might
okay.
have to change. We do have a show called First Time Watching, so that could change very easily. But we'll see what happens in the future. But I have been a good fan of the Paddington movies. I don't love it as much as like everybody else does. Like the first one has a 99% Rotten Tomatoes. The second one has a perfect 100%. Third one has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the fact that that's the lowest, the worst movie of the trilogy is a certified fresh 94% is fucking crazy. Like, good for them. because this one you don't have Paul King returning as the director, and you don't have Sally Hawkins as the mother, who was in the first two, and she was a big kind of character in the first two Paddington movies. She has a lot of the heart in those films, and those elements were 100% missing in the third movie. I definitely missed Paul King's style and touch, and I definitely missed Sally Hawkins being involved. And this kind of did feel like an adventure of the week of Paddington just doing his thing in Peru, but is not nearly as good as the first two. But I still had a very pleasant time with Paddington in Peru. Yeah.
It's hard for me to take those Rotten Tomatoes scores to heart, because like, how do you look at this movie and be like, I hated that? Like, you can't
exactly.
do
you
that.
hate joy?
I hate
do
it.
You just
That was
hate happiness.
That made me so mad. Like, you're gonna give it a 3 out of 5 at least, which makes it fresh, which gives it 100%. That's why it's so high. But yeah, I mean, these movies are enjoyable. It's a bear that just wants marmalade and to like hang out with his family and like help his grandmother out. It's like, yeah, that sounds cool. And
Put on the poster.
It's literally the poster. It's him riding an umbrella down the Amazon. Like, are you fucking kidding me? But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the second one, which apparently it's life-changing according to Spencer. I vaguely remember the first one and liking it, because how can you not? And this one gives you similar feelings. Like, you're sitting in the theater smiling ear to ear, grinning because it's so enjoyable and it's adorable. But I'm sorry, but Marmalade is not El Dorado. Okay? El Dorado is under Mount Rushmore with Nicolas Cage, and William Hurt dies because he found it. I found it.
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris, yeah.
And he loves those movies. And yeah,
or whatever. Who did I say? William Hurt? That's not close.
Yes.
Like
what?
The original Thaddeus
whatever.
Ross.
El Dorado is full of actual gold, not marmalade. 3 out of 5.
I also gave it a 3 out of 5. Very enjoyable movie. Yeah, just a fun time. And if you like Paddington, then there's no way you're not gonna like this movie. So that's
if you like anything in life, you'll like this movie a little bit.
There you go. But let's get Paul King back for a fourth one. Let's see what happens.
And Sally Hawkins.
Spencer, what was your grade?
I gave it a 3 out of 5 as well. Nice, fresh.
It's good. Like, it's a good movie. Fuck off. Move on.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And a little catch up. You guys talked about Companion in the last episode. I did get around to seeing it, and I 100% agree with you guys. This movie is just a ton of fun, very clever, like the twists and turns. There was a couple that I didn't actually see coming, so that was a nice little fun surprise. Sophie Thatcher's a fucking movie star. Like, absolutely. This is like the star-making performance here. If like Heretic wasn't it, this is. So I can't wait to see whatever she does next. Also, shout out to Lucas Gage, who was supporting in this movie. He was great. I thought he was excellent in this movie. So that was cool. The one thing, one little nitpick with the movie is I thought most of the comedy fell flat. Whereas like the monkey, I was laughing all the time. This one is like, I got the idea that they were going for. Like on paper, I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably like a funny idea. It just didn't hit the landing for me for the execution. Like most of the comedy fell completely flat for me. I think Nate said that for his review. Like he just didn't see the comedy here. I'm there too. I just was like, I got the idea. I'm like, oh, I see what they were going for, but it just didn't land for me. But nevertheless,
I see what you're saying. I would kind of agree with that one aspect of the movie. But yeah, Sophie Thatcher is just amazing. She's so good. Watch Yellow Jackets. Great. Just watch Yellow Jackets. Sweet. Well, next podcast we should have seen, at least I will have seen, Last Breath and Mickey 17. Bong Joon-ho shout out. So look out for those new releases.
And I'll catch up and watch The Monkey.
Yes, and definitely watch The Monkey. But with that being said, I do believe we have one more segment to jump into, something we did last show. If you didn't watch our last show, highly recommend checking it out. But this is the Cine2Nerdle Battle Arena, where two dudes will go against each other in the battle of wits and movie knowledge to make connections between directors, actors, screenwriters, actresses, directors of photography, everything.
Gaffers,
the coveted crown of
lighters.
Cine2Nerdle champion.
All right. Well, yeah, last week, like John said, John and Nate battled it out. Nate was the winner, so I am playing the winner this week. We're going to see what happens here.
And I'm going to be commentating on the battle. I will walk you guys through it for the audio listeners. I do highly recommend watching this on YouTube just so you can get the full visual of the game, because it definitely helps. But I will do my best to walk you through the chain of events.
Okay. All right, John, we need a starting film.
Okay, your starting film is Pitch Perfect 3.
I thought he was gonna go. Never mind.
Perfect 3. Okay, I'm ready and up.
Fever Pitch. Here we go, everybody.
Ready.
Again, if you're listening, I highly recommend watching on YouTube for this segment. You will have a lot of fun. Pitch Perfect 3. A lot of actors, a lot of actresses. Fire away, boys. And I believe Nate coming in hot with Up in the Air, making that connection between Anna Kendrick. And Spencer firing back with Thank You for Smoking, connecting Sam Elliott, Jason Reitman, J.K. Simmons, and Nate with Spider-Man, making that connection.
Spencer's got me so beat. Like, it's not even. I'm just trying to see how long I can go.
Ooh, Spencer with Pawn Sacrifice, the 2015 film that no one's ever seen, connecting Tobey Maguire.
It's a great movie.
Is it? I don't think I ever saw it.
It's about chess. It's the original Queen's Gambit.
Ooh, Nate coming in with the 2022 film Babylon,
Okay.
Damien Chazelle, and Spencer with Focus from 2015, Margot Robbie. Some spicy things happened on that set. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Were you there? Do you
Will
know
Smith
what
had an
happened?
open relationship. Nate firing back with the 2001 film Ali, which I have not seen, with Will Smith, and Spencer with The Insider from 1999. Nate, Michael Mann's Heat from 1995, over a 3-hour film I've never seen. Oh, wow. And Thief, 1981, Michael Mann off the board. That's going to be a tough one. Nate, I believe Nate firing back with Misery, making that connection with James Caan, and then Spencer with Dolores Claiborne.
We have an episode
film.
on it.
And Nate with Fast
Fast
Times at
Times.
Ridgemont High, that Jennifer Jason Leigh connection. That's a deep cut. You guys are killing it right now. Only round 14. And Spencer with Mystic River, Sean Penn.
I wish we had win conditions. That's the thing. Like, that's killing me. There's no win conditions.
It's just going to keep going. War of the Worlds, that Tim Robbins connection to Dakota Fanning in that movie. Man on Fire by Spencer. Nice response. Oh, Collateral, Paul Cameron.
Paul
connection.
Cameron.
Is
What?
that a director? I don't know who that is.
I don't know that connection. Okay.
It's okay. I think there's plenty of way. And Spencer with Rock of Ages. Of all Tom Cruise movies, he goes with the 2012 film Rock of Ages. The adapted Broadway musical that I've seen, actually, in person. I've seen very few Broadway musicals. That was one of them. Thanks, Mom.
I've also seen the
Nice.
Broadway show.
Oh, Nate firing back with Valkyrie, making that second to last connection with Tom Cruise, and then Spencer with The Color of Money, 1986. Nate, Paul Newman, The Sting, 1973, round 22 here. And oh my God, Spencer firing back again. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. We have an episode on that, I believe.
And The Sting. I think we
And
have
The
a
Sting.
person
Paul
watching
Newman.
on The Sting.
Robert
Yeah.
Redford connection. Wow, and Nate firing back with Indecent Proposal.
And let's go with her better performance. The substance.
Oh, shots
You know
fired
what?
with
I'm
the
just gonna
substance.
lose this round automatically.
No,
'cause I
no,
don't
you
like
can't.
this.
Nate,
Get
no,
on it.
you don't do it. Type in Scream, for the love of God. Get us in the horror genre so you have a chance. He's refusing.
No. He's thinking.
Nate
of
types
something.
in, and Nate and the rookie Dennis Quaid connection. Let's go. Does he eat shrimp in that movie? I'm not sure. And Spencer with Reagan 2024. What the fuck is that?
Exactly. Who's in it other than Dennis Quaid?
Dennis Quaid and Nate firing back with The Parent Trap 1998 classic with Lindsay Lohan's. Ooh, Spencer, I Know Who Killed Me 2007. What is that? And Nate's going to play Herbie Fully Loaded. I fucking knew it. Let's go. 2005, Lindsay Lohan. Spencer firing back with Jeepers Creepers, Justin Long, and rushing Nate.
I don't
along the
have any
way.
lifelines. Aw.
You do, and I have to answer.
3, 2, and Nate firing back with Barbarian 2022 film, and Spencer with Miss March.
I don't know anything about this movie.
It's the only movie that got directed. It's Miss March.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Miss
I
March. Oh,
got
we
no
might
idea.
have Nate in the outs here.
Yeah, I
Is
can't
this
even see
not
the
the movie I'm
poster or
thinking of?
anything, so
What
I
is
have
that
no idea who.
poster?
Yeah. Nope.
That's not the normal poster. I don't even know who's in that movie. And that's the
Oh,
end of the game. 33 rounds. Duck Party wins it with Miss March.
Miss
Damn.
March. Gotta go with the obscure.
What a
Yep.
game. What a game. I like it.
So, Zach Kreger directed Miss March in 2007. Didn't make a movie, and then Barbarian, directed by Zach Kreger,
2022.
and then blew
because I had
him
no
up.
lifelines. It doesn't
Yeah,
have anything.
no
like
win
that,
conditions and no
so-
lifelines changes the game. I really think that we should put them on.
Going into round 2. If Spencer comes out on top, he wins. If Nate takes it, we go into 3 rounds for a tiebreaker. But your
It ain't
starting
happening,
movie,
bro. He's
starting
too
mo-
fast.
let's see. Your starting movie is San Andreas.
Ready? Start.
Here we
game.
go.
Let's do it.
And tell me who's doing it first, because I wasn't
Ooh.
sure if I was correct.
I'm up first.
Oh,
All right,
Spencer's
we got
up
win
first.
conditions here. Perfect. I love it.
Ooh, win conditions: Martin Scorsese versus Catherine Bigelow for Nate. And Spencer already off to a tough start.
Brad Payton directed that.
Has to play a top 5. He's playing a film that's outside the top 5,000 right now, or attempting to. And
I also
Spencer goes
just
with
realized I only know
Black
2
Adam.
Catherine Bigelow movies, so that was kind of a waste of a win condition.
That's okay. Other
Um,
ways to win. Black Adam, played by Spencer. Nate must make a connection. And Nate going with The Rundown, the 2003 action adventure movie. Solid movie. Watched that in the back of a car on the way down to San Antonio one time. Spencer with 7 seconds, and he plays Suicide Kings, connecting Christopher Walken, of all people, from The Rundown. And Nate playing a movie that also has the word King in it, King of New York from 1990. Crime thriller, Christopher Walken. Spencer, all he has to do is play another Christopher Walken movie. Is he thinking? Oh, and he plays Dune Part 2, the 2024 Timothée Chalamet movie. Also stars Dave Bautista and Josh Brolin. Ooh, Nate attempting to play the girl with the dragon tattoo. No connections found. Insomnia, no connections found. Overthinking it. He's going to play another movie instead. And he goes with Breaking the Waves, connecting Stellan Skarsgård from 1996. Oof. And Spencer going with the Lars von Trier Antichrist. Ugh. Hate that movie. Movie makes me want to die. Oh, and Nate going with Melancholia. Speaking of wanting to die, Kirsten Dunst. And Spencer with The Brutalist has a connection with Brady Corbet. I don't even know who that is.
He's the director of the movie.
Oh, fancy that.
Ha ha!
And Nate coming back with The Thin Red Line, connecting Adrian Brody. And Spencer's going to play Days of Heaven, connecting Terrence
I see what
Malick.
you're doing here. I see exactly what you're doing here.
Are you trying to get to Martin Scorsese with Terrence Malick movies? I don't understand. How do you pull Catherine Bigelow out of one's ass? Is the question. Oh, speaking of,
I only
and
know 2
Nate-
Catherine Bigelow movies, so I can't win with it.
Damn, Nate playing American Gigolo, and Spencer coming in with a film I've never heard of called Oh Canada. Richard Gere. Well, that's coming from a man who saw
What
200
the
movies.
fuck is this?
Spencer with Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters. What? Spencer playing Dog Eat Dog from 2016. Closing out Paul Schrader as an option. And Nate with Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Nicolas Cage.
I love it. It's a go-to. Everyone's in that movie.
Ensemble casts are a blessing and a curse in this game. Spencer thinking too hard, trying Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but failing.
Oh yeah, he's not in it. Let's just go back to the classic.
Spencer playing Mystic River again.
Again.
Are we going to end up with Miss March? Who knows?
That's the goal. Go back to Miss March.
And Nate going into horror with Friday the 13th, the original from 1980, Kevin Bacon. Oh, and looks like Spencer using his Leeds lifeline. First lifeline of the game so far. I don't believe that helped him in any way, because who are these people? I don't know. Spencer going with Wild Things. We do have an episode on it from 1998. Check out the Those Movie Dudes podcast archive. And Nate with Valentine from 2001. Spencer playing The World Is Not Enough. Is that a 007 movie? With Denise Richards? Wow. There's a movie I'd love to see played right now with Denise Richards, but nobody's playing it. Please play this movie. None other than... Oh, and Nate going with The Man with the Golden Gun, 1974. Spencer sweating, possibly using a life. No, he goes with The Untouchables from 1987. Clifton James, The Connection. Who's that? I don't know either. Nate going with Horizon, An American Saga, Chapter 1. The Kevin Costner epic. Spencer throwing a movie I've never heard of, but failing. And goes with the Royal Tenenbaums, playing it safe with Luke Wilson. Where do we go from here? The Royal Tenenbaums. Nate with Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Open up the spectrum a little bit.
Yeah, all right. This is where I like to be. Nice try with Wolf of Wall Street from Spencer. Trying to spice it up.
Trying to get to my win condition here.
That's what I like to see. Isn't Catherine? Oh, well, I can't give any hints. Spencer going with This Is the End. Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen connections. Nate. Okay.
Nate
Those
are the two movies. So,
Nate trying to spam win condition movies. He needs to use his time here, or he is. Oh, and he throws the interview in with 1 second left. Here we go. Movie banned in the U.S. at most theaters.
I saw it in theaters.
I don't know if I did. I think we did, Spencer. Maybe 2014 film. Spencer coming back with Shortcomings, 2023 movie. Never heard of it.
Movie.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Nate using his lifeline of cast. Oh my god. Seemingly Debbie Ryan from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is in this.
I've got no idea.
And Stephanie Hsu is in it as well. Stephanie Hsu is in this movie. Stephanie Hsu is in this movie.
John, that's cheating. I'm not going to put an answer.
It says it. You can see it. Damn. Okay. Nate conceding to Duck Party. A well-fought game between these two allies turned competitors. I had a great time watching it. I hope you guys did too. Spencer winning with Shortcomings, and in the first game, Miss March. So, yeah, quite epic. An epic journey.
You know what that means.
You know what that means.
John versus Spencer. I don't think Spencer's ever
gonna
play again.
That means you and I next week or next.
Didn't podcast. I lose? I lost the first time around, didn't I?
Yeah, but I just lost. So now it's your turn.
Nate was the winner. I just beat Nate, who was the winner. So I'm now the winner. And so now I got to beat you.
So Nate John goes next.
Nate beat me.
And then I go next. And then John goes next. And then I go next.
We got to get some
might as well just get into this routine.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Trust me. You can dethrone me for sure. John's beaten me before. It is possible for sure to get me.
I needed win conditions to do it. And you also.
No, there was times, Nate, where you almost had me too. When you were going down into like the 70s, 100%.
I didn't use my time lifelines or anything like that. I just
don't feel. I think one lesson to be learned from Nate's loss here is don't be afraid to use those lifelines.
That's where I differ. I don't like to use them because it's a game of knowledge, not a game of who can make them panic more.
Oh, see, I look at it the opposite way. I will rush the hell out of you and block your win condition as much as possible. That's my strategy because I know that I don't have the knowledge to actually beat you with just knowledge. So that's the difference.
That's why it's battle royale. The other game is battle, where it's just back and forth knowledge.
This is battle.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we made it to the end of the show, boys. Anything else we need to plug?
Toast house.
So I can see those, but I can't hear the music drops.
That's all that matters.
That's okay. I'd rather see those anyway.
First time watches.
Oh, yeah. We got a first time watching coming up on Thursday. We have Inland Empire, a little tribute to David Lynch, R.I.P. to the legend. We watched his last theatrical film, Inland Empire, a 3-hour nightmare into the mind of David Lynch. So that
isn't that every movie he makes?
This one in particular. Yeah.
This one is it's
an
a
unfiltered
clusterfuck
stream
of
of
epic proportions.
consciousness of David Lynch's mind. So yeah, that episode comes out on Thursday, and yep, it's got some future episodes coming out. So yeah, every Thursday, subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Those Movie Dudes.
Absolutely, and I look forward to talking about Last Breath with Woody Harrelson and Mickey 17 in the next show. We will see you then.
Fuck yeah.